Hello folks, this is Jonathan on Jesus Christ Servant channel, and we're going to pick it back up. We left off yesterday. We left off in the chapter 9, so Genesis chapter 10. We'll go ahead and get started. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, and to them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, and Magog, and Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, and Meshach, and Tyrus, and the sons of Gomer, Ashkenaz, and Riphath, and Togarmah, and the sons of Javan, Elishah, and Tarshish, and Kittim, and Dodanim. By these were the isles of the Gentiles divided, and their lands, every one after his tongue, after their families and their nations. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim, and Put, and Canaan, and the sons of Cush, Seba, and Havilah, and Septa, and Ramah, and Septa, and the sons of Ramah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begat Nimrod, and he began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord, wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod the mighty hunter before the Lord. And the beginning of his kingdom was Babel, and Erech, and Echad, and Calneh, in the land of Shinar. Out of that land went forth Asher, and builded Nineveh, and the city of Rehoboth, and Calah, and Rezin between Nineveh, Wan, Calah, the same is a great city. And Mizraim begat Ludim, and Anamim, and Lebim, and Mephibosheth, and Pathrusim, and Chelsruhim. You have to excuse me for not pronouncing some of these names correctly. Out of whom came Philistia, and Chephtorim, and Canaan begat Sidon his firstborn, and Heth, and the Jebusite, and the Amorite, and the Girgasite, and the Hivite, and the Archite, and the Sinite, and the Arvadite, and the Zamorite, and the Hamathite. And afterward were the families of the Canaanites spread abroad. And the border of the Canaanites was from Sidon, as thou comest to Gerar, unto Gaza, as thou goest unto Sodom, and Gomorrah, and Admah, and Zeboim, even unto Lasha. These are the sons of Ham after their families, after their tongues, in their countries, and in their nations. And so now we're going to go, this is unto Shem. Unto Shem also the father of all the children of Eber, the brother of Japheth the elder. Even to him were children born, the children of Shem, Elam, Asher, and Arphax, and Lud, and Aram. And these children of Aram, Uz, and Hul, and Gether, and Mesh. And Arphax begat Selah, and Selah begat Eber. And to Eber were born two sons. The name of the one was Peleg, and for in his days was the earth divided. And his brother's name was Joktan, and Joktan begat Almodad, and Shelef, and Hezmarveth, and Jerah, and Hadoram, and Uzel, and Dikla, and Obal, and Abimael, and Sheba, and Ophir, and Havilah, and Jobab. All these were the sons of Joktan, and their dwelling was from Mesha, as thou goest unto Sephar, at mount of the east. These are the sons of Shem after their families, after their tongues and their lands, after the nations. These are the families of the sons of Noah after their generations in their nations. And by these were the nations divided in the earth after the flood. So if you want to keep up with that, you might want to write that down. From each one of those, which people that they born. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said to one another, Go, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city, and a tower, whose top may reach into heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do, and now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth, and from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. These are the generations of Shem. Shem was 100 years old and begat Arphaxad 2 years after the flood, and Shem lived after he begat Arphaxad 500 years after he begat sons and daughters. And Arphaxad lived 530 years and begat Selah. And Arphaxad lived after he begat Selah 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Selah lived 30 years and begat Eber. And Selah lived after he begat Eber 403 years and begat sons and daughters. And Eber lived 430 years and begat Peleg. And Eber lived after he begat Peleg 430 years and begat sons and daughters. And Peleg lived 30 years and begat Reu. And Peleg lived after he begat Reu 209 years and begat sons and daughters. And Reu lived 230 years and begat Serug. And Reu lived after he begat Serug 207 years and begat sons and daughters. And Serug lived 30 years and begat Nahor. And Serug lived after he begat Nahor 200 years and begat sons and daughters. And Nahor lived 920 years and begat Terah. And Nahor lived after he begat Terah 119 years and begat sons and daughters. And Terah lived 17 years and begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begat Abram, Nahor, and Haran. And Haran begat Lot. And Haran died before his father Terah in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and the name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife Milcah. So I don't know how to pronounce that name, so you have to forgive me, bear with me with some of these names. The daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Ashah. But Sarai was barren; she had no child. And then later on, God's going to change both of their names to Sarah, and Sarah instead of Sarai. And Terah took Abram, and when it's talking about Abram right here, this is the same Abraham. It's going to get onto that later. And his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife. And they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan. And they came unto Haran and dwelt there. And the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. I'm going to go ahead and stop right there, and tomorrow I'll pick it back up and we'll read chapter 12 and chapter 13, if Lord willing. So I figured I'm just going to do this out here just that way you guys out there, if you've never went to the Bible, just going through 2 chapters a day through the first 5 books of Moses. That way you know what it's all about. So anyways, but remember this right here, no matter what chain it is, it don't matter if it's something sexual or beer drinking, it doesn't matter what the chain is. And if you're alive and you have breath in your heart, Jesus Christ can fix it. And so if you give your life to Jesus Christ, and then after you do that, the devil's going to come knocking. And so what we have to do, we have to stay steadfast, which is a mistake that I didn't know how to do. And so, if you stay steadfast, stay in God's word every single day, you won't go backslide. Every now and then you might have a bad day where you say a bad word, but for the most part you're going to be on that straight and narrow. So peace and God bless. And we're praying for every Christian brother and sister out there, and even those of you that are not Christians. Until the next video, hope you enjoyed.